opponent person dislike you,
Right.
and then we try to negotiate or talk with against him.
Right.
The very difficulty is usually, even if what kind of you rational speech,
Right.
but they're going to receive more emotionally.
Right.
So
So we have the advantage. I think in Western society you have the advantage that
I
if you
remember.
can take-
So let me see. Good example is Trump. He is not a rational person. He's just only emotional.
right.
Everything what
Right,
he's
right.
doing. But the kind of person is most difficult to persuade him. What is the best solution to communicate with him? This is my simple question. What is the technique? What are you? What kind of approach?
Technique
Yeah,
is-
what are going to consider for kind of people?
Solicit an explanation.
What means soliciting?
Solicit an explanation. If somebody says, "Okay, we need to do this," okay, can you explain to me why exactly we need to do this? And then somebody needs to explain his beliefs, his facts, everything that's underlying his decisions. In Western society, this is what you do. Just because I say so will not cut it.
What?
Just because I say so will not cut it. So the way to get people out of from their high horse is to actually ask a justification of why they want to do it. They are proposing it this way or that way. Once they start to explain it, you will have ammunition to say, okay, I hear what you're saying, I understand your reasoning, but isn't it so that you are using this data and actually I found that this data that you're holding is not correct, or there is other data available that falsifies your the things that you base your beliefs on. If that is true, isn't it time to adjust your beliefs? So, of course, people have there are just as many, if not more, arrogant people in Western society as there are in Japanese society. There are many, but you can trip anybody in Western society by encouraging people to actually justify, explain their position. If their position and what it's based upon, how did they arrive to their opinion, to their viewpoint about a contract, about a certain political direction that the country should go in, about any decision that they make. It's based upon certain information, and the way so the information is then becomes important, and the way that they use that information to derive a certain conclusion becomes important. As a Western opponent, as a Western stakeholder, asking people to explain their sources, their beliefs, and their facts, and using that information to challenge them will always be successful. If you can catch somebody in a fallacy, in exposing their that the way that they derive their conclusion is actually false or not justified, then 99 out of 100 people will adjust their standpoint.
Okay. The other my question is French President Macron.
Right.
He's very smart to discuss with people, right? And what kind of technique he's using for, like a Trump or any other people?
French people are very good at this.
Yeah.
French people are extremely good at this.
Yeah.
They are very rational. They love debate, and they're actually good at it. So in French people really know how to.
What is their background?
Is rationalism.
Rationalism.
Yeah.
Why I'm talking about that, the Japanese is just completely opposite side, okay?
Right.
And Mr. Abe, any other people cannot discuss with overseas people. But so, why they cannot do that?
Well, basically, where are French people very good? Because they are actually questioning everything, believe, data,
Questioning everything.
questioning everything. So okay, you know so well. So how did you get this information? And I think this is where Japan, we are more informed by whoever is around us, and that shapes our beliefs in what the truth is. It's something that is taught to us, and we are not learned to question. French people are learned to question everything.
Learn to question everything. Why?
Why? To find the truth. It's every individual's obligation to find his own truth.
Find own truth.
His own truth, yeah.
Japanese people, they doesn't.
Exactly. They don't. So they're not used to question and debate. More or less, Japanese people have an obligation to understand what the consensus is about certain things, and what they take things more or less at face value. They are not really they're not really taught critical thinking in an aspect, in a way that, okay, but does that make sense? Is it really so? Or people with alternative opinions.
Good example, if I'm going to attend G7, at that time he never say, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Never say, right?
Right.
The reason is, if he going to speak out the question, but he can't respond that any kind of.
If he needs to justify, well, it doesn't make sense.
Cannot
Okay.
communicate.
So he will not confront others because he will be confronted back, and
Yes,
then he needs
yes.
to explain exactly
Yes.
what his beliefs are based upon, and his beliefs are based upon whatever he heard from everybody around him. It's not an original thought. It's not It's not. It was not born through his own, to his private process of questioning and finding truth, and refining his idea of the truth, and thereby building a much better understanding of how the world fits together. It was based upon what he gathered left, right, and center. A very holistic approach.
So that is called Japanese culture called problem, huh?
To
I'm right, okay. He never speak out, I'm right.
right.
Right?
Right.
So even if kind of what kind of meeting, an international meeting, he still believe Japan is right.
But it's very like, if you all of a sudden, if you come from a society where there's a holistic approach, where basically you reach your worldview based on consensus, and all of a sudden you are taken out of the group, put in front of somebody else, and is really going to point your finger. Why do you think so? Well, we tend to think like this, or we have found that this is the way it works in Japan. No, why do you think so? So the people become enormously naked in a debate, because that's not the way we play in Japan. We play a different game.
Like currently, Trump asked Merkel, you need to increase military budget up to 4% of your GDP. What she said?
I didn't follow that.
Or Macron, any other European countries,
Right.
prime minister, president, what they said?
Oh, so if Trump says you need to increase, or so, okay.
They
well,
agree with them?
no, of course not. Of course not. So why do you believe that is just? I mean, what makes you believe that 4% because we do so? Yeah, okay, but why would we agree to 4%? I mean, basically, we can ask you to reduce your expenditure. What makes your 4% the guidelines for our defense expenditure?
Okay, why I made a question for you? Because Trump is going to ask to Japan.
Right.
You should increase military budget 2% of GDP
Right.
very soon.
Right.
All right?
Right.
So, what Abe will going to answer for him?
So Abe will say, well,